Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives from artists, producers, engineers, and other individuals in the music industry. In each episode, we touch on not only what has helped the person succeed, but we also touch on what has shaped them into the person that they are today. I hope you're able to gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you on your own journey to success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 197 here at the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Today I welcomed back a guest from episode 22, like 3.5 years ago, Rome Westfield, Atlanta artist, a guy that I've known now for 5 years. He was actually the first artist that I was able to land a placement with. The first artist I worked with that I had no clue who they were at the time, and connected with him online, and that was kind of the beginning of my journey towards working with different independent artists from around the world. So I always got to credit Rome for that, and just being such a cool, down-to-earth guy, and I was happy to catch up with him. We talked about what he's been up to over the past few years, being able to maintain his independence, also the struggles that he's dealt with trying to balance everything. He talked about being able to do a new music video coming up. He's got a lot of new music on the way. Really just kind of recapped, and got to catch up with him, and it was kind of cool to be able to do that, and just be able to see him still doing his thing. And I'm excited for what he has coming up. And as always, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, welcome everyone to episode 197 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Today's guest is a returning guest. He was back on episode 22, which is, probably 3.5 years ago. One of the first artists I've ever worked with, actually, in 2019. Always happy to reconnect with this guy from the Atlanta area. Everybody, welcome back. Rome Westfield. How you doing, man?
What's up? I'm good. I'm blessed. We're here trying to take the music industry by storm one day at a time.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, I'm always happy to reconnect with you. I know it's been a while, but I've been keeping up with kind of what you've been doing via Instagram, things like that, and I'm excited to have you back on the show. So for those that might not have heard that first episode, kind of give some background as far as who you are, what you do, just some basic info for those that might not know.
Okay, I am a music artist. I'm not going to say rapper because I'm more than that. I'm a music artist. I direct my own music videos. Working on the fashion side. I need to get more in tune with the fashion side. But, also me and my business partner, we have our own label that we're working on. It's a lot in the works. And it's a lot that's coming. Like, even this year, I got some things that I'm trying to put in the works.
Yeah, man. Well, again, I think it's just awesome to see the growth. And I know that when we initially connected, you had talked about a lot of this stuff that you're doing now, you know what I mean? So I think it's super cool to see, and I'm just happy to be able to still be in touch with you and see what you're doing. So as far as 2024 so far, because I know we're still pretty fresh into the year, how has it been kind of just beginning the year, and what kind of goals do you have set in place for this year that you want to get accomplished?
It's been rocky, but it's nothing that I can't handle. But as far as this year, I don't know. I definitely, end of last year, I released the first single for the project that I am planning to release this year, hopefully. And I'm gearing up with my marketing team to launch this next single around summertime and then follow up with another one after that. And honestly, I need to get out and network more. That's one thing that I need to work on. Cause I'm in the mix, but I'm not in the mix as much as I should be.
Mm-hmm. And what
I need to network more.
Yeah. And what ways do you think you're going to be able to do that? Because I know just being in the area that you're in, I feel like there is a lot of opportunity. It's just about kind of finding where that is. So what do you think that's going to mean for you? Is it shows? Is it just going to studio sessions with people? What does that mean, you think?
It's a mixture of shows, going to studio sessions with people. The way the Atlanta scene is, you have to find your niche. You just can't go to any show, and you just can't go to any event. You can never anywhere, but when it comes to your craft, you have to know your niche in order to be like, all right, you can't go into a room full of gospel rap artists doing certain types of rap. It's gonna be like, why are you even here?
For sure. I think that goes for any place too, but especially when there is kind of a buzzing music scene that I feel like Atlanta has, for sure. So I definitely feel that. And another question I have for you is, the last time we talked on the podcast, at least, was the fall of 2020. I know that was quite a while ago. So what do you think has been the biggest lesson that you've learned since that last conversation that we had, as far as music goes and being an artist and doing all these things you're doing? What do you think is the biggest lesson that you've learned and taken from?
I would say the biggest lesson is definitely plan and learn from mistakes. Because you can make a plan and halfway do the plan, and then you're like, dang, I could have put more effort into that plan and the results would have been different. But that's what I mean by learn from your mistakes. So if you have a plan, stick with your plan. Yeah. Don't defer or get, because, as creators, we all get in that spot where we're like, all right, I'm not as motivated to push through this plan, so you'll kind of half-ass it.
I think it's
definitely is pushing forward with the plan.
Yeah. I think it's like being honest with yourself in the plan too, you know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes we might set out and you might have to like steer course on the plan a little bit, but you got to stick to the original vision, you know what I mean? So I definitely 100% agree with that as well. And what have you been doing, even outside of like being a creative, to kind of keep yourself balanced, keep yourself motivated to keep going every day? Like, what other activities do you try to make time for that are helping with songwriting, planning all this stuff out? Like, what has that been for you?
It's weird, but I have a weird process. Like, my process to help me create songs is I literally plan a day to do nothing. Like, I literally have to sit here and do nothing, because sometimes I could be watching TV and get inspired, or driving to work in my car, or listening to some new music that'll inspire me to, like, all right. Or then I'll just be thinking, or sometimes I'll just be sitting there thinking, like, all right, I have this song in my head and I need to record. Yeah. So I still constantly like record new material to just like stay ahead, keep the pen sharp, and and of course experiment, because you never want to be a one-trick pony in music.
Yeah, I think that doing that is so vital, and I myself still struggle with like setting time aside to just kind of chill. You know what I mean? Because you want to get things done, especially when you have like so many ideas. It's like, I could do this now. Why wait? I want to get this idea in motion. Right. But it's important for your health too and your well-being to sit there and say like, no, I got to take this time just to do whatever I feel like doing. You know what I mean? And give yourself that permission. So that's definitely a huge part of it as well. And I do remember too. Go ahead.
And honestly, just sometimes you got to get out. You have to live. Like, music doesn't happen unless you live life and go through things. Because it's like, most people, either whether it's a hype song, trap song, everything they're saying is a part of a story of something that they experienced through life. And it's like, you can make music, but it's like, what's the point of making music if there's no feeling in it? Yeah. Like, they're not feeling the story. They're not feeling where you're coming from. Like, you have to live life.
And I've definitely said on past episodes too that I think the listeners will always be able to tell that, like the honesty and the integrity in the music. And if it's not real, they'll know. You know what I mean? Because you can tell. You can just tell. You know what I mean?
That's true.
No matter who you're listening to. So,
you definitely can.
And no matter what style it is. So, and I remember we probably talked like probably a year ago about how you were trying to experiment, try new styles with your music. So how has that been going? Like, do you think you found a sound that really is what you want to move into next, like with this next project? Like, how do you feel that's been going?
I definitely have my own sound, definitely my own lane. Like, the stuff that I've been working on, only close friends have heard it. So nobody knows what the next sound from me is going to sound like, except for those close people. And for the people who I played it, they were just like, wow, like, I've never heard anything like this before. And I'm like, that's the point. Yeah. That's the whole point, is give them something that nobody's ever heard before.
Hey there, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know about a couple different ways that you can support the podcast. One of the ways is by clicking that support the podcast button within your streaming platform. That is if you want to be a monthly supporter of the show. You can contribute either 99 cents, $5, or $10 a month. So that's the first way, and that's the more traditional way that we've had now for the last couple years. The other method that we actually just recently introduced is from our good friends over at Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a virtual tip jar. We have set our limit to a minimum of $10, but you can go make one-time, one-off donations. So if you visit ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast, you'll be able to donate. And all these different forms of donation go towards getting new guests every single week, getting potential sponsors on board to do giveaways, and overall just making the show better for you guys. So if you want to do that Ko-fi link, it's ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Otherwise, again, look for that support the podcast button in your streaming platform if you'd like to be a monthly supporter. And I just want to say thank you guys for your contributions. And without further ado, let's get back into the episode. Yeah, I respect that because
I definitely feel like I captured that.
Yeah, man. I respect it because I feel like you always got to be looking to kind of reinvent yourself in a way, like push your own boundaries as a creative. And then, and then I think people will be able to see the results when it's all said and done. And you can look back on that and just say, I was proud of myself for pushing myself in that way. You know what I mean? So definitely commend you for that, man. And I know that Save Me was the track you dropped in December, I believe. And is that going to be the first song from the album? Is that what you were talking about then?
That is the intro song for the album.
Okay. So let's, what can you reveal about the project as a whole? I know you don't want to give everything away right now, but like, why did you lead off with that song to kind of be the introduction to everything?
It's funny because that actually wasn't the intro song. I played the album for my family last year, and one of my uncles said, Save Me should be the intro to the album. And I was like, no, this song is the intro. But in the back of my mind, it just kept replaying, and I'm just like, Save Me is the intro to the album. So, I can give away the title. The album is called 404 Theory. It's been in the works for about 2 years. Going on 3, because I did swap a song out that I made last year. So, it's like 10 tracks on the initial release. I'm due 4 tracks on the deluxe. So, in all, it's like 14 songs.
Yeah. Well, definitely.
And only 1 feature.
Now, who is the feature? Because I was just going to ask about collaborators, producers, artists. Like, who is on this project?
My main man, Kenton. You've seen songs that I've done with Kenton before, but me and Kenton, when we lock in, we really make some magic. Like, that's really my boy.
Yeah, man.
That song me and him got out, man. I don't even think people are ready. Like, it's going to follow up my single, so it's like a single after a single.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm definitely excited for it. You got like the cover art in mind? You got that done, or you still got to do all that stuff?
The cover art for the album is done.
Nice.
I finished that already. It's just with this next single, I've been sitting on this single for about 2 years because I just know the power that it has, and if I do it the right way, hands to God, this could be the one. If I do it the right way. So that's another reason why I didn't just throw it out there. And I own it.
Yeah.
So I 100% own it. So that's another reason why I haven't just thrown it out there. So me and my marketing lady, we have some plans to like push it forward and get the marketing scheme right. So it can be the one if I do it right. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you think you're gonna do maybe like a music video for it too to go with it?
I'm definitely doing a music video. I've already been today, and I think the last few days I've been pre-planning because I'm trying to plan ahead as far as shooting the music video. So I'm trying to plan like we're in February now, March, April. So I'm planning like 3 months out.
Yeah.
That way I can already have the location booked. I can have a videographer on set ready to go for, paid for already, and if I need extras, any of that taken care of. So I'm planning far ahead because I know how I get when I don't plan ahead.
Yeah.
Because can't believe it was a video that I planned ahead. I didn't do that spur of the moment. So when you get videos like can't believe it from me planning ahead, think about time when I've had time to sit and think about a video and then put it into motion.
Yeah. I feel that's when the best ideas happen too, is when there's actual like real planning involved and you give yourself that time to make it exactly what you want in your mind. You know what I mean? Because because I know a lot of people, even with the visuals and the content creation, I feel like nowadays people can do it technically faster if they do things on iPhone or whatever they want to do. But if you're going for something more like in depth, you got a plan. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, it's just going to be a disaster for you and everyone involved, I think. Especially when you got to like get the people on the same schedule as you and have them kind of see your vision. If you're storyboarding or you're just trying to figure out, who's going to be in this video, what is the budget, all those sorts of things. Like that's something you really got to plan for and figure out at the end of the day. So, but yeah, man,
definitely, and I'm definitely going for something theatric. Like the ideas for the video changed constantly because I've already had to change the location. So now, the more and more I look at the location, the ideas change constantly. So I'm like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, and I just know that it's a wow factor. The way I direct my music videos, I incorporate things that like in the Can't Believe It video. I don't think people noticed that I had a fake box of cereal with change in it, and I poured milk on it. In a bowl of cereal. I don't think anybody noticed that. They were probably like, if they did, they were like, why did he do that? What was the purpose of that?
Yeah. The fact that it was fake cereal, it just makes it so much better. How do you think being able to maintain your independence as an artist has been, let's say the last 4 years as well? Because you still, like you said, you still own pretty much all this stuff, all the music you're doing, you're directing your own videos. You're still not on, you don't have to answer to anybody. At least from what I know, you still don't have to answer to anybody with your creativity. Right. So how do you think that's been? Like, is that still your goal to maintain your independence and just keep it going?
Honestly speaking, it's definitely hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard because honestly, I wish I had a manager or a team or something to be like, kind of stay on me because I know I can procrastinate with certain things. I would love to have somebody know this needs to be done now. You need to do this now, or do this, do that. Like just in certain elements, not all of them, not to take away from my creativity, but in certain steps on the process, I would love for someone to be like, you're slacking, get back on it, do this, do that. Because it would help a lot because like life can really like take a toll on you when you're trying to when you're wearing multiple hats.
Yeah. It's like having like an accountability partner, you know what I mean? Right. Like if you're going to work out, you're trying to start like a new workout, if you get somebody that's like really seasoned in the gym, they could be your accountability partner. So it's the same in like this type of thing too. I feel like you got somebody kind of over your shoulder, and like you said, they don't have their hand on the creative part, but they have their hand on some other things that it's harder for you to either access or it's just harder for you to balance with the creativity. So yeah, I definitely feel that 100%. And I think it's just about finding the right people too.
It is about finding right.
Yeah, which is a decision that it can take years for sure, because you want to make sure you can trust that person or those people, and that they have your best interest in mind as well. So, I think it's never say never. You know what I mean? Like it could definitely happen one day. You just gotta keep doing your best and kind of see where it goes, but. I still always think it's great to learn the stuff on your own and then do that, which I think you're at the point now. You've done so much. It's like, what's up, you know what you're doing. So, yeah, man, I definitely think sharing that was great. So I appreciate that as well. And is there anything else that, we can be on the lookout for other than new music? Like, are you doing any shows in the area? You got anything else planned that you want to reveal? What else you got going on? I'm not gonna lie.
I have a show that I'm set to do around May, but depending on how this music video goes and releasing this song, I may not do it. It's in another state as well, which is, I was excited, but now I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna fit into my time frame of how I'm trying to do things.
Yeah. goes back into the prioritizing, prioritize what's most important to you. So,
right.
And there's a time and place for everything.
I've been sitting on this music for a minute, so I'm ready to like hit the ground running.
Yeah. And I think shows and opportunities like that, they can come whenever too. So like, I feel like you drop the music, then you'll have more to perform just from that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, that's awesome stuff. And do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
I would say you are your biggest roadblock. You stop yourself from getting as far as you want to get. No one else, you. So if you're having second thoughts, doubts in your mind, sometimes sit with those and use those as motivation to keep going.
I know we all face those from time to time, so I definitely agree with that, man. And
yeah, because it's like time's only going faster, days are getting shorter, and we all want to get to where we're trying to go.
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like I'm not even that old, and I feel that way already, so.
How old are you?
But, I'll be 27 in June, so.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
A year older.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We're feeling it, man. We're almost at 30, you know what I mean? We're feeling it. We're getting up there, but. But yeah, man, I want to say.
I'm like, nah, time is ticking.
Exactly, man. The watch just keeps going quicker. But man, I gotta say, dude, I appreciate you for coming back on the show, and I'm excited for all the new music, man. And I'm glad that we can stay in touch. And I'm always looking to reconnect with you, man, because you were literally like the first artist I worked with that I didn't know. You know what I mean? So anytime you want to come back, man, just let me know. We'll do it.
Gotcha. So. For sure.
Thanks, everyone, for listening today. That was episode 197. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit the support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send any funds. And feel free to leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks, everyone.